So the year is 2022, and in the last 5 years, the two-wheeler EV segment in India has definitely seen a substantial amount of change and growth. And as far as vehicle manufacturers go, none have made better strides in this segment other than Bangalore-based startup Ather Energy. Now, back in 2018, Ather started off by selling a scooter in its home city of Bangalore, and it took a whole year for the company to really spread out to its second city, Chennai, by 2019. And by 2020, the company had spread out even more across India and even given its scooter its first substantial amount of upgrades and given birth to the Generation 2 model, the Ather 450X. Now, what are the changes? Yes, well, it had moved from the Linux-based operating system to the Android. It had Bluetooth connectivity. It came with the awesome warp mode that we now know of pretty well, and also another set of aesthetically pleasing colors. Now the year is 2022, and once again Ather have been at it. This is the Generation 3 model, what the company calls the Generation 3 model, and it has undergone a fair bit of change as well. A couple of new bits, a lot of old bits, but how much of an upgrade is this model over the previous one? Let's find out. So what's new with this third generation model? Well, the biggest form of change, well, you can't really see it with the scooter because it comes in the form of a bigger capacity battery. Well, the previous generation model came with a 2.9 kilowatt-hour unit. This one comes with a 3.7 kilowatt-hour battery, and that could mean just one thing, better range. Other changes come in the form of a different tire. This one has been developed with MRF, different treads, different compound. And yes, the other changes come in the form of new shaped mirrors, which shows that the company have been paying attention to feedback from its customers. And also, yes, it does have a better RAM. It has doubled up on RAM and storage space as well, which means that the scooter is now capable of running bigger apps and storing a lot more data.
The last new bit with the new Ather 450X is the Smart Eco Ride mode. Now this is basically an algorithm in the scooter that ensures that you cover the maximum amount of kilometers with the amount of juice left in the battery after the bike reads your riding pattern. So basically no two scooters will ideally be the same in this ride mode, and the scooter's brain basically over here allows you to ride as fast as you can, maybe up till the top speed of the scooter at 80 kmph at some point. And if it figures that you're draining the battery a little too quickly, it will kill power and not allow you to exceed a certain speed like 40 kmph.
Now you do have the option of fitting on a couple of accessories onto your 450X, the third generation model. The first of which being a tire pressure monitoring system, the TPMS, which you could always fit onto your Generation 2 model. Well, you can do that out here as well with this model. The other one being a side foot stop that aids your pillion rider if he or she wants to sit sideways on the scooter. And the third being an additional luggage bag that you can attach to the rear of the scooter. On the visual front, there's not a lot to really tell that this is the third generation model because it looks pretty much identical to the second generation one. In fact, the only telltale sign visually are the new mirrors. All the panels, the lighting, everything else is the same. And once the scooter actually comes to a halt, you might be able to tell that the tire tread pattern and the tires are different as well. Under all these panels, well, mechanically, everything remains the same as well. The motor is the same, suspension, chassis, all carried over from the previous generation model. Well, so this leads me to believe that although Ather Energy is termed it as a generation change, what it really is a substantially updated model for this particular year. You could say this is the 2022 Ather 450X.
Now, while there's not a lot that's changed mechanically with the scooter, besides some tweaks to its suspension to manage the 5 kg weight increase that's down to the battery, this Ather 450X still remains a potent electric scooter option for India at this time. The scooter still feels agile and quite effortless to control. The telescopic fork and monoshock suspension units at both ends handle shoddy road conditions very well, which is awesome for India. The older motor, which throws down 6 kilowatts of peak power, still feels lively and gives the scooter a good amount of shove in walk mode. Ather have definitely made some good improvements with this new 450X model. For those still on edge about the recent spate of EV fires in India, well, there's some good news in here for you as well. All the essential functional components of the scooter, like the BMS and even the motor controller, have been rigorously tested to function as they should. Even the new battery has been designed and tested in-house by Ather to help keep temperatures down as well as reduce the probability of a thermal runaway occurrence. Now the sad bit about this ride with the Ather 450X is that, well, the most important thing about the scooter is the new larger battery. 25% more capacity, 25% longer life, and a claimed 20-kilometer increase in range, which takes it to a good 105 kilometers out in the real world, all sounds great. But honestly, we didn't have enough time to really test the range capability of this updated machine or check to see how much longer it actually takes to charge because of time constraints. But one thing's for sure, the new tires definitely feel very reassuring over tricky road surfaces. As far as looks are concerned, Ather claims that altering the 450X's aesthetics weren't a real priority, with more focus being on refining the ride experience as a whole. So, function over form, never a real bad thing. But still, according to me, a bit of change design-wise would have definitely been more than welcome. If anything, at least a couple of more color options. Because, well, if I was a first-generation 450 user who wanted to upgrade to this model, I'd want something that looked a bit different and not like something I bought 4 years ago. So while Ather refers to this scooter as the new third generation 450 model, I'm not completely convinced that it qualifies as one. In truth, it feels more like a revised model year version. But that's not taking anything away from the fact that the Ather 450X still feels like a proper, solid, well thought out electric scooter. And according to me, it's still one of the best currently out there.